When I was 10 years old, I was raised with my grandmother and my aunt until the age of 10. At the age of 10, I moved back to New York City with my mother, who in turn had 4 other children, 3 boys and a girl. You see, she was a sick person and a single parent, and she was desperate. And in her desperation, she partnered me with a 21-year-old man so that he can protect me, care for me, and since she took me out of school, make him promise that I was gonna go back to school. But in terms, he didn't do that. Instead, he abused me physically, emotionally, psychologically, sexually. And in terms, I had 4 kids of his. At 14, at 16, at 18, and at 22. And the abuse continued all through those years. But one of my the most egregious thing he did to me was when I was pregnant. I was about 6 or 7 months pregnant. We went to go visit his mom, and his mom said, "You're having a girl." And he looks at her, looks at me, and says, "No, she's not. She's having a boy." I say, "I think it's gonna be a girl. I'm gonna have a girl." And when I looked at him, the look that man gave me, it was dark, it was evil, and it sent chills down my spine. And I knew I was in trouble. But we still had a good time. And on our way back home, we were in the car, his car, and all I hear is the hum of the car. And he's silent, and I'm silent. But I'm scared, I'm petrified. I was like, what the heck is gonna happen when I go back? When we get home, behind closed doors, the first thing he does is strike me right in my face, and I drop. And he starts kicking me, and I said, "Please, don't hit me, my baby, my baby." And he didn't care. And he kicked me one more time, and when he hit my stomach, I cried out loud, and I said, "Stop." I cried, and I lay there, and I peed on myself. And strangely, I just laid there holding my stomach and crying, sobbing, and thinking how a man that loves me, and I'm pregnant of his child, can do such a thing to me. However, as usual, he will convince me, and he will be sorry, and he will treat me nice, and naive Maria will go back with him, year after year after year. I didn't know how to speak English because I came from Puerto Rico and they took me out of school when I had just finished the 6th grade. But I equipped myself with the knowledge and I self-educated myself. And I started reading books and I educated myself, especially on good relationship, healthy relationships, toxic relationships, what was an abusive relationship. So I'm here to share with all you some of the flags that they use, because they don't all look like they're abusive, and that's why they do it little by little, until you trap. One of the things they do is blame shifting. They will blame everything and everything on you. If he's late to work, if he wakes up late, or if he drops something, anything that he does wrong, he's gonna try to blame it on you. They don't like to be responsible for anything. And then we have the financial control. You're not supposed to have any money. And if you do, even if you have 4 kids, it doesn't matter. You don't need any money. You have everything you need. And naive Maria believed it. That's true. My kids have everything they need, right? Then there comes isolation. And they do this little by little. And they'll tell you things like, take advantage that you're sick, for example. It's a great example, actually. And say, I called your mother, let's say. I called your mother, and she knows you're sick. And your brother, too. They all know you're sick. But he didn't say anything. And then they'll be like, you see? See what I mean? Who's here for you? Me, right? Not your family. And then you start believing that. Yeah, that's true. See? Intimidation. They use intimidation. And the way they do this is by telling you things like, if you leave me, I'm gonna kill myself. And you're gonna get scared because you don't want that. And another thing is manipulation. They love to use manipulation. They will try to get you to do things that you don't want to do. Let's say they will even try to put you, let's say if they like for you to be with another woman, they will even try to do that. And if you don't do that, it's because you don't love him. So they'll try to make you do things that is inappropriate. But because they love you so much, you'll do it. But it's all a trap. All a trap to control you and to tell you what to do. And how about the things that we are not supposed to do? Because they don't talk about that. People don't talk about what we're not supposed to do. On the contrary. How many people here have heard you should go to couples counseling? Anybody? Does anybody believe that works for couples in an abusive relationship? Why not?
Because they don't believe that anything they did was wrong, so they don't see themselves as a problem. So it's not gonna really work if they don't see themselves as the problem, you know?
Exactly. Yeah. So never go to couples therapy. And one of the reasons is because although it's to help the couple, it's a tool for the abuser. Because in the couple session, they're gonna know everything she doesn't dare say. Because now she thinks she's safe. But little does she know that she's not safe. Because he's gonna use everything against her. But this changed many years ago for many therapists. Lundy Bancroft has a program for many, many years in which the program is really designed, it looks like it's to help the abuser, but it's not. He started making phone calls after the abuser was in the therapy session, calling the victim, and it was totally the opposite. So that changed. That doesn't work. Another thing not to do is to just leave. You know how people just say, why don't you just leave? It's not that simple. We can't just leave. Guess why? 70% of homicide happens when the victim tries to leave. That's when they really get hurt. So it's not that easy, just leave. Don't tell anyone, just leave. On the contrary, you can, but you have to plan it slowly and in secret. Make sure you have enough money for transportation, for food, especially if we have kids, a trusted friend, a shelter, domestic violence shelter. There's many information in there. If you want to reach out, whoever, if you know someone, reach out. It's very serious. And there's a lot of abusive people out there that they're in the dark, just like I was for so many years, and my family thought that I was doing well, and I wasn't. I'm gonna leave you with this. Knowledge is the light that's gonna turn your success into reality. Just keep that in mind. Knowledge is power, but only if you use it. Equip yourself with the knowledge, necessary knowledge, for not just for this, but for anything that you think that you need. For those who don't know me, when I first introduce myself, my name is Maria Carrion. I am the author of Fighting All Battles into Success. There has been many other battles other than just the domestic violence. If you want to check out the book, it's over there. And I also have a story in an anthology book. And all the stories in that anthology book is women who have been going through domestic violence and other battles. So I encourage you to take a look at it. Okay? Any questions? No. Well, if you need me, you have my number there now, or anyone else. Reach out to me, please. Okay? Thank you.